So, more information has come down the pike. We have more Double Master spoilers and the contents of the VIP packs. But admittedly, it's kind of a mixed bag. Greetings, owners of fine luxury cardboard rectangles. Welcome to Friday. I hope it finds you all well. So, what's going on? We have gotten some more information specifically about Double Masters. Technically, we have a full 10 cards that have been spoiled, but don't get too, raring to go, because it's all lands we're talking about here, and basic lands specifically. We also have the contents of the VIP packs, which I suppose we can talk about before we talk about the spoiler cards, because it does actually lead into it. These spoilers that we're going to talk about are specifically for Double Masters VIP packs, and the stuff we're going to talk about will, as far as I understand, will not be available regularly. Like if you buy regular packs of Double Masters, which are still premium. Like we're talking about VIP packs, which are the premium packs, and honestly, I don't really know how to feel about VIP packs overall 100%. They're really expensive and weird, all right? So let's break down exactly what's going on with the VIP edition, okay? So first of all, they're only going to be released in English and Japanese, which I find to be a very interesting choice. Why would they elect to not make these in a number of other languages? And actually, you know what? If you're somebody who collects different languages of cards and pays more attention to this, I'd be interested in you filling me in the comments below or in an email, because admittedly, I remember back in the day, and not too far back in the day, maybe about 10-ish years ago, a little less, maybe 8 to 10 years ago, languages like Russian and specifically Korean were very highly sought after as like super rare, hard to come by cards. And I remember, because I used to be a trading hub, right? I would distribute cards to all kinds of different people. And I used to try very hard to get my hands on Korean cards. I remember the one core set that came out, I believe it was, which was like one of the first Korn releases. No, we're not talking about the band Korn. Korean. One of the first Korean releases that you could pick up around here. And I managed to score most of a booster box. And that was a huge deal at the time, because the foreign language cards, depending on which languages they were, specifically Korean, and then it switched to Russian, were the top of the pile. But then it felt like as time progressed, and this might just be my localized area, because for a while I lived in Toronto, which is a huge city with millions of people in it, and now I'm back living in St. Catharines, which admittedly only has a little over 100,000 people living in it. So there's a considerable difference. But what I've noticed is that the demand for other language cards is very, very low and very, very niche. So I don't know if that's just been a shift in the Magic population overall, and non-English cards are just not as attractive anymore, and that's why Wizards of the Coast has chosen English and Japanese, or is it just they're trying to pick the markets they believe have the strongest economies to be able to support these sort of things? I don't understand the motivation behind just making it English and Japanese. So I did want to touch on that because it made me curious. And sometimes when I don't know what's going on, you guys are a fantastic source of information. I mean, yeah, sometimes crazy nonsense comes from you guys as well, but whatever, take the good with the bad. So the contents of VIP edition packs are 33 cards plus 2 foil tokens. So in total, you get 35 items. I'm fine with counting the 2 foil double-sided tokens as cards as well, even though technically they're not Magic cards. You know, if I bought a box of cards and it was 1,000 random Magic cards and there was some tokens shoved in there, I wouldn't be like, you gave me 972 cards. You know what I mean? It's just, that's not how I view it. But if you view it differently, that's a minor quibble, right? So the breakdown of the edition packs, the VIP edition packs, I should say, are as follows. You get 2 foil borderless rares / mythic rares that are only found in the VIP edition. Now, there are 40 different of these borderless cards. It's weird to me that Wizards has taken so long to fully jump on the borderless train, because extended border stuff they do for collectors, it looks like garbage. It's basically, you shrink the art down. And I don't know if you've ever noticed that, but if you look at just the extended, they just kind of yanked the art off to the side, and it really doesn't make the cards look very nice at all overall. Like, it's not a huge improvement. Like, I still do like extended art to a degree on some of the cards, but it's not as good as the borderless treatment. So it's nice to see that they're moving more towards that. I would personally like to see extended art just removed and completely replaced with borderless, because it actually feels more natural and you get the entirety of the artwork instead of sacrificing a bit on either edge. I mean, I'm a big fan of floor. Good Lord, sorry. There was just a stabbing pain in the side of my ear that made like flavor and lore crammed together into the word floor. All right, so let me just shake that off for a second there. So yeah, I mean, in terms of like, I like the flavor of cards. I like looking at the artwork, and having more to appreciate makes a big difference for me. Now that's a personal taste sort of thing. So you get 2 of those foil borderless rare mythic rares. You get 2 foil rares / mythic rares, 8 foil uncommons, 9 foil commons, 10 full art basic lands that are only found in the VIP edition, 2 of each basic, 2 foil full art basic lands only found in the VIP edition, 2 randomly selected from among the 10 options, and 2 foil tokens. So when we break down what you're getting, 17 cards are foil commons and uncommons. Half the box is foil commons and uncommons. One of the ways that this article tries to make it seem like they're giving you a great deal is going, you know what, to get 2 foil borderless rares, or to get 2 foil rares, you'd have to buy like an entire booster box from us. So it's almost like you're getting a whole booster box's worth of stuff just in these VIP packs, trying to pretend like they're not priced like booster boxes. You know what I mean? Like, it's like you'd have to buy a booster box, and it's like, well, for the price you're charging, I pretty much could. And so I would get more cards and more packs. Like, you're giving me 35 cards, right? Like, 17 are foil commons and uncommons. Who cares about those? Almost all commons and uncommons in Magic suck, because unlike other card games, Wizards of the Coast has decided, you know what, man? Commons and uncommons are just for drafting. They're not for formats, so we'll just make them all garbage. We'll give you like 1 good common a set, maybe. Like, that's one of the things that irks me about this sort of setup. So you're getting four rares and mythic rares in the box set, and literally the rest is tokens, uncommons, commons, and lands. Like, that's the breakdown of the VIP edition for $100. Now, I know good old crazy Rudy over at Alphagetti Investments put out a video saying that they're underpriced, but let's be real between you and me for a moment, all right? I really like Rudy. I think he's great. I think he's entertaining. He's got a lot of nice things to say about me. He's come by my live streams, but I also know that Rudy's in the business of selling you Magic cards. So, you know what I mean? Are you going to tell the guy who's in charge of selling you something, telling you it's underpriced? It's a little like, wink, wink, say no more, say no more. You know what I mean? Like, come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. That's how I feel when I saw the title of his video saying that the prices were overpacked. The packs were overpriced. I wish the packs were overpacked. Anyways, when I saw that video, I saw the video title. I'm like, well done on making a title that's going to have people come and run to tell you how wrong you are. The traffic on that video, well, magnifique. He did a great job. But I don't agree that these are underpriced at all, right? Let's be real. Wizards is printing less cards and charging you more. It's the same kind of thing they did with the Secret Lair fetch lands, where you're paying a higher price, but you're not getting more cards because of the perceived value. But the perceived value is basically forced upwards by Wizards. So it's not like it's some naturally occurring price. It is a manufactured sort of thing done through planned scarcity, right? So it's really hard to justify the price of these packs on one hand. On the other hand, I understand a company looking to try and make products to make as much money as they can and like cater to a higher priced clientele, right? Like, To me, this product is a cash grab. And you know what, I say that, funnily enough, some people actually go, everything's a cash grab. Really? Really? Yeah, everything's a cash grab. Is it the loaf of bread down at the grocery store that I buy for a reasonable price? That's a cash grab. No. That's disingenuous. It's a ridiculous response. When Wizards of the Coast prints 35 cards and puts them into a box and charges you $100 for it, that's a cash grab. Let's be real. You can get 15 cards for like $5. You know what I mean? Right? So, you could try and argue regular booster packs are a cash grab, but I'm not even going that way. I'm allowing them the fact that like it doesn't cost them that much to print cards and do whatever, and they make nice margins. Fine. VIP edition is a cash grab. Legit. It's meant to grab cash from people who have a lot of it. And if they want to put their cash into the hands of the grabbies, they can do that. But nothing is going to change my mind about the fact that I think this product is essentially a giant ripoff. You know what I mean? It's an attempt to sell an inflated product and go, well, look, you can only get these foil borderless rares and mythic rares in VIP edition, so they'll be worth a lot. And it's only like, they're only worth a lot because you're forcing them to be worth a lot. You can make these VIP packs and sell them for $20 and make a nice profit, but it's not enough. So we don't get that. Now, as for the cards, you've probably been sitting there going, well, you know, what are the lands? What are the lands, right? You said we've got spoilers. Well, there's 2 sets of 5 basic lands from 2 different printings that they're bringing back. Now, the first and more juicy is the unhinged lands. And when these unhinged lands came out in the second unset, they were a pretty big deal. People really enjoyed the lands, but unhinged sold miserably. If you're wondering why there was such a huge gap between unhinged and unstable, it's because unhinged did very poorly as a product. I remember seeing the boosters like discounted, but slowly over time, the unhinged lands picked up speed. They picked up in value. They're doing all right now. You know what I mean? People like them. The foils are worth a considerable chunk of change. So Wizards has redone these lands with a new border, which in my opinion, the new border isn't quite as nice as the older border. You know what I mean? It's kind of a toss-up. You know what I mean? Like I'll put it up on the screen for you to make your own decisions or whatever on what you think visually about these, but these have a different border than the originals. These are the second printing. Unhinged lands are worth a considerable amount of money, but when they do reprintings like this, it will push down the price of the originals, and these won't go for the same price as even the originals. So there's only so much value that can be extracted from these if you care about that sort of thing, right? So you've got the unhinged lands. Now you've got the potential of getting foil versions of these. Now, if they had just put in the unhinged lands, this product would feel like less of a cash grab, but to try and water it down, like the unhinged lands are like if you like whiskey, like picture like a top shelf whiskey. The unhinged lands are like a nice whiskey, right? However long it takes them to make that. And then you've got the other set of lands, which are 5 Battle for Zendikar full art lands. All right, so not even original Zendikar full art lands. They went Battle for Zendikar full art lands, which are basically on the level where you will be lucky if a game store will let you buy list them for a nickel a piece. They are not highly sought after. They basically took the concept of full art lands and just drove it into the ground. Like the Zendikar full art lands had picked up value over time, a little bit of value. And then Battle for Zendikar just came and drove that into the ground. So the Battle for Zendikar lands are essentially worthless in my eyes. So they're putting half of the 10 lands you get in each pack are worthless lands. On top of that, the 2 foil lands you get from the pack are random. So you could easily get 2 foil Battle for Zendikar lands, which are going to be $3 or $4 a piece if you're lucky. You know what I mean? Like, that's the level that we're looking at here. And this is Wizards of the Coast, and they have a history of track printing. And if you don't know what track printing is, it's literally reworking the print numbers so there's a higher incidence of certain cards and a lower incidence of other cards. This has been factually proven with box maps and things like that as something Wizards has done in the past. So why would they discontinue the practice? So in my opinion, the chances of getting a foil unhinged land are far lower than your chances of getting full art, like foil Battle for Zendikar lands. Now, there's no way that I can prove that. However, I do very much feel the need to point out again that track printing has been a very real thing in Magic the Gathering. Wizards of the Coast has changed the way that they give out information to try and stomp down on the maps, but box maps are still being created. They're just being created in secret by these like very rich individuals that are tracking what's going on with Magic the Gathering. And I know that sounds like a little tinfoil hattish, but there literally is a group. There is literally a group of like rich Magic collectors that have access to inside information. I know of this group. That's how, okay, I did a live stream where I told you guys all that Pioneer basically, like me and Rogue Deck Builder together, did a live stream where we told you that we had information that Pioneer was going to be a format that was announced by Magic the Gathering. And the next day it was announced. It's a real thing. And that information comes through this group of like secretive individuals. I don't have a direct contact to them. And apparently, from what I've been told, they even call themselves the Cabal. So there literally is a group of players that have like additional information. They have inside sources from Wizards of the Coast, and I would not be surprised at all if they were building box maps as well with all the information. I don't think the box mapping community went away. I think they went underground. There was literally a period where you could buy box maps on the Google Play Store. You could literally buy an app that would allow you to like look through an entire box and figure out what was in each booster pack. And the software worked. I mapped many boxes myself just out of amazement testing it out. It worked for Dragon's Maze, Return to Ravnica, Avacyn Restored, and even when they did something with Eldritch Moon, where the flip cards were, people were able to use that to map it out. So Wizards of the Coast does use particular algorithms to design the sets. And when they do, not all rares and mythic rares, and even commons and uncommons, are born equal. That's why you will find that chase uncommons show up less frequently. Now, there are definitely people who don't believe me about this, but I've witnessed that it works perfectly in the past, and they were doing it. And there's literally no logical reason to think that the company would discontinue this practice when it financially benefits them, right? It's to their advantage to make it harder to get the more desirable cards, which clearly they know which cards are going to be more desirable, right? So all this is going on, and this is a very long-winded way of saying that I do believe the VIP packs are going to be skewed towards minimizing the amount of foil unhinged lands you get, right? I always lean towards Wizards secretly trying to give us essentially the worst deal that they can. And I don't believe that's an unfair perspective to take with this company, as they have shown us that the only thing they care about at all, 100%, is the money they take from us. They don't care about our satisfaction. They don't care about the card quality. Like, it's a non-issue for them, apparently. So I don't know, man. Obviously, I'm going on probably over long about this aspect, but I just want to make it clear to people. Like, people get all excited about the maximum potential possibilities, but always remember that at the end of the day, Wizards rigs this stuff the same way casinos do. And at the end of the day, what's the phrase? The house always wins, right? So, it's up to you whether you get these products. At the end of the day, I can't even. You know what I mean? Like, as much as I think it would be cool to open one of these packs on the channel, there's absolutely no way I can justify spending $100 like US dollars on something of this nature. And yes, I do feel a little bit of envy for people. It's funny how it works. I look at a product and I'll go, this is a cash grab. Okay, that's what it feels like. It doesn't feel like it's worth it. It feels like Wizards is taking advantage of us, and yet I still can't help wanting it. And I feel like a lot of us in the Magic community are like that. We can't help ourselves. We want this stuff. And so it feels like Wizards of the Coast is taking advantage of that. You know, like, we all have free will. We all make our own decisions, but it just feels like they just view us as marks. You know what I mean? Like, that's, you know, if you get what I'm saying, just someone to be taken advantage of. And it kind of leaves a bad taste in the mouth. So I end up in a position where I absolutely love the game of Magic the Gathering. I adore Magic the Gathering, okay? Like, there's nothing really that can pull me away from this game. And at the same time, I really dislike the people who make the game. I don't like what they do. I hate that it feels like they're so anti-consumer and against us and trying to basically screw us over at every turn, that the only option is to constantly hassle them and call out the things they're doing. Because if you don't, they'll just get worse and worse and worse, because the money keeps flowing in. And I've been with Magic for decades, and I've watched the company get progressively worse, and it's accelerated in the last number of years. And the only thing I know to do is point it out and go, this ain't right. What they're doing ain't right. And sometimes when we point these things out, they reverse course and make changes. And people will come along and be like, you're so negative and shut up and go away and you're ruining Magic. And it's like, no, I'm not. Me pointing, it's like if there's potholes in the road and people's tires are being destroyed, and I go and say, hey, there's potholes in the road and it's destroying people's cars. If that makes you unhappy, I'm the messenger. I'm just the messenger. I'm not the one responsible for creating the potholes or filling them. Do you know what I mean? But yet I get the heat for that, because when people hear this, they get uncomfortable because they think Magic is going away. But understand, underneath it all, that I love Magic the Gathering. I want the best for it. And that's why I talk about it this way, because I want to see improvement, okay? I'm not looking to push Magic down further. I'm trying to elevate it through correcting what's wrong with it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't get how that's not obvious to some people, but at the end of the day, I know this is probably just going to fall on deaf ears. So let me end that part off. Make the decision that makes you happy. If you like, after hearing everything that's in the product, if you like it and want to buy it, great, enjoy it. If you think it's a cash grab, don't want to buy it, and are disappointed with it, guess what? I'm in the same crowd. I'm with you. Both are fine opinions to have. At the end of the day, I just want to have a good time with my fellow Magic players, and would like for the company to show us a little more respect and just treat us better overall, all right? So let me know what you think about that in the comments below, or tell me about you know what? Tell me about what happened that was great in your day-to-day. For those of you who did that yesterday, thank you. I actually really enjoyed that. It was just random little things, people talking about the best part of the day. But it's nice after all the negativity that you can find on the internet. And yes, I guess I see a little bit of the irony. Here's me making a video that's negative, but again, constructive criticism. But still, it's nice to see that positivity. So thanks for sharing it. If you like my channel, you like what I'm doing, hit the like button, subscribe, share the video around, leave comments. It's all great for the channel. Channel's been doing great so far. And if you really want to help me continue what I'm doing and have a great time with it, then jump on my Patreon and join the people whose names are scrolling by now on the screen. They're my favorite people in the whole world. So thanks for coming by, everybody. We will be back together soon. But for now, bye!